Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're tuning in. This is Chris Stryker Curtis with you as always, alongside Travis Munoz and Matthew Weber. And thank you for joining us for the second annual 2025 Virtual Demonstration Team Exchange, hosted by your virtual Snowbirds. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to witness is just simply virtual aerial excellence, all live right here from the pixelated and faithfully reproduced Canadian Forces Base Moose Jaw. You know where that is? That's located between Calgary and Winnipeg, also known as 15 Wing Moose Jaw, home to the Royal Canadian Air Force Pilot Training 431 Squadron, and of course, your virtual Snowbirds. This event geared at bringing virtual airshow teams together to collaborate, to share ideas and elevate one another, and finally strengthen the community heading into the 2026 virtual air show season. With that, let's talk about the schedule of events. Bo, how are we looking today?
Oh, we're looking good, Striker. I'm really looking forward to it. We've got the Frecce Tricolori. We've got the Blue Angels. We've got the Snowbirds. We've got, everybody that kind of is coming off a really, really good weekend from not that long ago. So these teams are all going to be very pristine. They're going to be very well practiced. So I think it's going to be a great show. Think it's gonna be one to be seen. We also have a couple other, you know, surprises and demos and stuff, so that should be good too. So let's see how things go. I'm looking forward to this one.
Thank you, Bo. Now let's transition to Matthew Crank Weber, the man that is really the director, the architect behind this event. Matthew, how are you doing today, and what in the world propelled you to come up with this venue?
Well, it's been a good day. We had a busy day at the family, bouncing between rink to rink, obviously doing that, Canadian thing that we always do. For the event, last year we dipped our toe into hosting an air show, and we learned a lot of lessons. And this year we just wanted to give it another shot, and then we can move into adding some different teams.
Well, speaking of teams, we're looking at the virtual Blue Angels, the virtual Red Arrows, the virtual Frecce Tricolori, Century Flight, even a solo act in there, and of course, your virtual Snowbirds. Now, again, and just confirm with us to me there, Crank, this is really the end of not just the real air show season, but the virtual one as well. So I imagine the teams are in pretty good and tight, let's just say, standing.
Oh yeah, the Virtual International Air Festival was just last weekend. We've seen quite a few of the teams that we're about to see again tonight: the Virtual Red Arrows, the Virtual Snowbirds, the Virtual Blue Angels, and then we also had the ability to do some ride-alongs yesterday. So being able to witness the teams up and close, they're all sharp and all ready to go.
All right, with that, again, through these shared events you're about to witness, combined performances, the virtual demonstration team exchange will be promotes cooperation, skill development, and of course the exchange of best practices, among virtual teams, which is why they're all here really to talk to each other, to show those inside techniques and tricks of the trade, so to speak. And of course, we're going to be delivering that in an immersive and authentic air show experience right here globally. So, Crank, I think we are ready to kind of kick this thing. We got the first demonstration team is the virtual Frecce Tricolori. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're just working a little snags in the background right now. So what we're actually going to do is, why don't we have take a look back yesterday and kind of talk about some of the things that we witnessed on the screen right now. We had the ability with all the teams in place prior to doing our ride-alongs was put up a joint flight, and we were able to launch about 37 airplanes out of Moose Jaw with the help of air traffic control and put together quite the flyby.
Now, I know, Bo, you were also in that flyby. What was your thoughts as well? Is that Frank? I think he's speechless.
I think he is
Oh,
speechless.
sorry. I was sorry there. Yeah, no, I had absolutely great time. It was definitely you had to have your patience on because there's so many kind of cogs moving in the wheel there, but it was great. I mean, like when we started flying and the smoke went on and it was like over my canopy and just the whole experience of it and ATC working in there, it was really awesome. I hope everybody can get out of it the viewing it as we got out of flying it.
Yeah, I can say, Crank, as behind you, there was what we had the Snowbirds out front leading, the Century Flight, and then the Red Arrows, and I believe myself and the Heritage. Of course, behind me, the Patrulli, the Frecce, excuse me, and then I believe the VBA in the rear. And quite a sight to see. Just look at those images, folks. That was a mass flight. And I believe it was the only mass flight that we've seen in recent memory, especially this year. Is that right, Crank?
Yeah, the last one I can remember is the Virtual Aviation Nation, hosted by
Yep.
Joe Grinelli, was the last time I can remember a mass flight, and that was the Thunderbirds, the Blue Angels, and the Red Arrows. I was lucky enough to work air traffic control that weekend, along with Panda. But yesterday we were able to bring in a gentleman by the name of Brian Christie, Cookie, and he's a member here at 15 Wing Moose Jaw, and he was able to provide some air traffic services for us. We had launched all the teams at once off both runways out of Moose Jaw, headed south over the lake, and formed up.
That's always really good to see sprinkled in real experience in there, especially as far as the air traffic control community. And now, Crank, you're kind of being a little humble here. What help us out here with the air traffic control experience? You have some experience in that, right?
Just a little bit. Yeah, I'm currently employed as a precision approach radar controller within the Canadian Forces. So, posted here to 15 Wing Moose Jaw. Did a previous posting to 14 Wing Greenwood as well, and then did a little time in NORAD. Dipped my toe on the ABM side.
Well, look at that, folks. Look at your screens. Look at that flyby and those pictures going by. That's something you don't see every day. Maybe the real teams could get together and do something. We had a little bit during the COVID times, which is great to see, but I don't believe we've seen something quite that large before. So that was really cool to see, even on the virtual scene. What a collaboration. That really sums up collaboration in my mind as far as virtual community. Great end of the year finisher right there for the mass flight. There, of course, we had a few solos in there. We had the Viper, of course. That was myself kind of leading the fray there on the American side with the F4 and the F-22. What else did we have for solos there, Crank?
Yeah, we have the Century Flight. So this is a little act that myself and a couple other members from the Virtual Snowbirds are doing. So a little bit of backstory: when I joined the community as a young, bright-eyed 16-year-old, just learning about the virtual air show community, I started doing the virtual CF-18 demo. In 2009 was the season that I started recreating. So we can see it there on the screen. So we're doing the 2009 demo this year. We've been working over the last few months on placing all the items that we need to get it in place. We have the manual from that season, and the narration, the music. So we're really rewinding the clocks back to 2009. We have the F-86 Sabre painted in that iconic Golden Hawks paint, as well as a Golden Centenaire Tudor, which a paint scheme we rarely see nowadays in Canada. We've recreated it a couple of times, the last time being 2009. The airplane now is in storage for the Snowbirds, but the Golden Centenaires was a formation team that was created in 1967 to help Canada celebrate its 100th year of Confederation, which I know down south of the border, you guys have a big anniversary coming up this summer as well.
Oh yeah, that's going to be one for the books as well. We'll see what happens on the real air show circuit. Perhaps we can help out there in the virtual scene. Maybe provide them some cheap inspiration options. That's one of the great things about this, folks, is that we have airplanes, like Crank just said, in the museum. Well, we could take those off and dust them off in pixelated areas and keep them living here as a flying tribute, so to speak. So really cool to see that continue in some fashion, because there's a lot of rich history there, and just cool to see and witness.
Now, as most people can probably already tell, we're 2 minutes past our first timing. We're working a slight issue with the Frecce Tricolori. It seems that they have been bitten by the internet bug. Uh, those in the virtual airshow community might know of the dreaded VFAT curse. And there's always that one thing that seems to bite a team just before an air show. So we're running into that at the moment. Striker, I'm going to leave you and Bo here to continue to reflect on what we've seen yesterday and talk about uh, some of the goals here of the demo team exchange. I'm just going to pop over to see that team and see if we can get them sorted out. And if not, we're going to move right ahead and we'll bring in the Century Flight demo to get this air show rolling. So I'll be back with you guys shortly. I'll leave this with you, Striker.
We'll keep it in safe hands, my friend. Thank you. Good luck, Polissimo over there. And Bo, what in the world regarding these? What is a VFAT curse? Can you help explain, unravel that for those of maybe not have heard such things?
Well, it's basically anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and you could fly 700 practices up until the day of the show, and then all of a sudden on the show there comes a problem or some sort of glitch, or somebody can't get into the server, or you name it. There's no bounds to the lengths that curse will go to stop you from flying. That's basically what it is, and I think all of us have kind of, all of us that fly, and especially in these events, it's just part of the game. You get, just like the real teams might get some turbulence or mechanical or something like that. This is kind of the stuff that online flying goes through, and it's tough, but you try to minimize them, and then you just troubleshoot and move on and get things rolling.
Sit rep.
So go ahead. What's the update?
We got an update. The network issues seem to have been solved. So let's just give a little background how the Frecce are going to be doing. They have one person doing all the streaming, and he's also flying. He's flying Pony 10. So they got the network back up. They're resetting up their cameras, and we expect to be ready for them in the next 5 minutes. They're saying they're very close to being ready.
All right. Well, great. So let's go into it now. The virtual Frecce Tricolori, the VFT. Passion driven. They're a group of Italian hobbyists, pilots dedicated to simulating real-world aerobatics, that you're about to see, originating from a challenge, basically, to perform close formations in flight simulators. And folks, I believe they're going to accept and conquer that here as well once they get airborne. They focus on community and skill. They foster a community for skill development, best practices, and sharing expertise in the virtual displaying arena. And of course, they've been in many of airshow venues throughout the years, culminating in today's virtual demonstration team exchange. And of course, if you're not following the MB339, the aircraft they have captured for their show, just like the real aircraft that's available now in DCS World, quick plug there, as they'll be recreating their performance. Of course, talking about their performance, they meticulously studied and replicate the maneuvers and routines of the real Frecce Tricolori, including having the actual really good contacts with the teams. They use aircraft like the MB339 and even earlier models. I believe that was the G91 for many of practice routines that you might see in the future. We'll see what happens there. Of course, more importantly, they are here to collaborate, join with the other virtual teams like the Virtual Blue Angels and the hosts of today's session of Virtual Snowbirds and large-scale events. And they'll basically just be wowing the pixelated skies here shortly. So again, a little bit more about their aircraft, the Aeromacchi MB339. It's a -A/PAN. Well, what in the world is that? What's the PAN? It's a specific variant of the Italian MB339. It's an advanced trainer jet, but this one was upgraded by the, let's see if I can get this right, Craig and Bo. It's the Petuglia, thank you, Acrobatica Nazionale. Man, I just butchered that. We'll call it the PAN like it stands for, right? Just keep it simple. Better known as the Frecce Tricolori, the team that operates it, Italy's iconic national team. And of course, they focus on stunning airshow displays. You're going to see, one of my favorite maneuvers is, I believe it's the, what is it? The Crazy flight. I believe it's where he kind of comes in and very slow, gear down, flaps down, and just does all sorts of crazy full deflection. One of the things about that is he's very low too. So I'm looking forward to that, as well as many of the numbered aircraft formations. What about you, Bo? What do you enjoy about this team in particular?
I'm big about being a team player. You watch these guys and you can kind of see, especially in the bigger teams, you can tell the guys that practice hard and that are all melded together, as a team, and they all move as one. And yeah, we get a little bit of lag or latency kind of issues, but when you watch them in those big formations, I mean, I've had a chance to one time fly with the Snowbirds in a big formation, and it's intense. It's not easy flying. It's trusting that nobody is going to be hitting you or whatever, even though there might be a wing over your head, or this guy you might be in the middle of everything, like the number 4 guy, he's in the middle of everything, 4 and 5, right? So that's the thing. And you get the tricolored smoke, and like how they just do all their things is very, very intense flying. And that's what I like watching the big formations that do really well like that.
Well, we're looking for possibly 10 of these jets. And Crank, you are probably the resident experts when it comes to a greater than 6, 7, 8 aircraft formation. What are some of the additional challenges that you see with this team?
The biggest challenge that they're going to be facing is the sheer amount of people that you need to run the operation. Now they're running as a 10-person squadron. The virtual Snowbirds ourselves, when we're running as a 9-ship, our squadron makeup is about 16 people. That's the additional people that we have on the ground. So not only finding 9 pilots that have the drive and the ambition to do this thing, to do this hobby that we all love, but to also find the streamers and the narrators and the support personnel that takes to put on a demonstration like this. Um, even a couple of years ago, 2024, the Royal Canadian Air Force celebrated their 100th anniversary, and the Frecce actually came over and helped us celebrate. They were able to do a joint flight with the Snowbirds over our nation's capital, and now this is kind of how this all started. When the Frecce came over, the virtual team reached out to us, said, "Hey, we want to do this with you. Can we help you?" They made the initial map that this air show is taking place on. Uh, the real team came here to Moose Jaw, parked on the same ramp that they're parked on today to visit the Snowbirds and their own hangar. To do exactly what we're doing today, and we're actually getting very close. They're just getting the last few people into the server, so we should be going to the virtual Frecce Tricolori very shortly. I just got a message. Let's see, they are good to
Yep,
go.
a green light, I believe. So, with that, let's now transition to your 2025 virtual Frecce Tricolori. It is your Italian professionals ready to take the skies right here over Moose Jaw.
Mi sto divertendo.
Arrivo.
Yeah, this is Chris Stryker. Curtis, welcome back. The feed went dead. Bo, did you did they hear someone upstairs hear you about these year-end VFAT shenanigans or end-of-year air show shenanigans?
Yeah, you never know who you wake up when you're talking about this stuff, so it could be.
Maybe we should just stop talking about it.
Back together. Yeah, maybe, huh? Right. That's probably the best thing.
All right. Well, with that, folks, bear with us 1 second as we restart the universe of everything called the internet, and we will get this feedback from the Italians. As you can see, I believe, Bo, they were rotating too. What a time to lose your feed, like losing your engine in a sense, right on rotation.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think one time I've seen a guy that flew half his routine, and then all of a sudden he realized he wasn't even on the live feed. So yeah, it's frustrating, to go through all that, and then you're like, I got to do this all over again. One of those things, but we work through it. And we'll get them back up there hopefully soon.
That's right. Standard Air Show shenanigans ensuing. The show must go on as it currently is, without them, of course. But you get some aerial shots there. If you're seeing that here shortly of Moose Jaw. This is quite a venue, High Plains area, and really meticulously done. Everything looks in order as it is up there. The only thing I would say, Bo, is I believe it's probably warmer for where you're watching. I think they're saying negative 30 yesterday or something like that. It's a big cold front pounding that area, but in the pixelated world, we changed that up a little bit. Why? Because we can. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, I would say negative 27. Oof. But imagine a negative 27, Striker. Your engines are me pumping out some power at that point. So there's some pluses in it, right? There's still some good things that can happen out of cold weather.
Well, so, I'm glad those engines are, because my hands are going to be right behind it.
Oh yeah, they did such a good job on this map. It's really well done. It's like all the little nooks and crannies that they didn't have last year that I saw this time around. I was like, wow, they really actually have done a great job on this. And maybe this might be something of a trend in the future for other maps. Maybe a virtual Oceania, virtual Miramar, or not Nellis. What is it, Langley? There's all kinds of possibilities. A Riyadh. How awesome would that be? So we'll see. Maybe they start a trend here.
That's a big plug in there for not just Eagle Dynamics, but a lot of just modifications and people that work with mods on this simulator, which, by the way, this is Digital Combat Simulator. It's not Flight Simulator that you're looking at. This is the standard for pretty much most, if not all, majority of air shows that is in the virtual world. Bo, why do you think, though, what are your thoughts on what makes DCS stand out other than versus Flight Sim?
I would have to say it's the flight models and the net code that allows us to fly more precisely in the sim. The thing about Flight Simulator, it's got great eye candy, and I mean the maps are beautiful, and it's very, very, photogrammed. I can't say that word for some reason, but it's all like looks exactly like you would see it in real life. And DCS doesn't quite have that, but the flying that you can do and how close you can fly and what you can mimic is what sets it apart for the air shows. For combat, you got all the systems work, you've got radars, you've got navigational tools, you've got, you can land on the carrier, you got all kinds of stuff. So it's good. I don't know. I think that's my personal thing, is what drives me to keep flying it, is the way that the planes fly inside the sim is, to me, it's just better than Flight Sim. But I like Flight Simulator too. Sometimes I just like to fly, and just go see stuff. So if I want to go sightseeing, I go Flight Simulator. But if I want to do some real focused flying formation or combat, I would go DCS for sure.
With that, if you're just joining us, this is Chris Stryker, Curtis, Travis Bomunoz in the booth with us, and Matthew Weber out and about scouring for the virtual Frecce Tricolori as we aim to reboot and get this venue off and running again. Looking up the updates here, that we had a drop. If you missed it, we had a drop in their feed just as they're rotating. With that, we're going to go into today's schedule. Not as bad and or as long as you might think, folks. Again, virtual Frecce Tricolori, 10 MB339s. Looks like, I'm just getting the word now, they're going to unfortunately have to do a cancellation. So we'll be moving on to our next venue, the virtual Century flight. We showcasing primarily the CF-18. That's right, it's Canada's CF-18. Here shortly. And I will stop there because I believe there's some other things in there. Possible surprises coming our way, Bo.
Yeah, there's still lots of things to do. That's, adds luck of the draw, I guess, if you want to say for the Frecce, but maybe next year or, whatever. We'll see how things kind of go. But we wish them all the best, and if they get their stuff sorted out.
Yeah, they're a great team. The internet, you can tame your jet, but if the internet doesn't work, then it's a shame. But with that, the show must go on. As always, the Golden Hawks livery of the CF-18 you're about to see. It's a throwback, Bo, to 2009. Nicknamed the Centennial Hornet. You're about to see featured a unique blue and gold paint scheme, of course, marking that 100th anniversary of powered flight in Canada.
That's right. I didn't know that they had actually done that in the real world. So for me, I was like, wow, that's really interesting. I always loved the history of the flight demonstration team. Like the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angels. They have lots of deep history, especially with the different types of plane they fly. So that's a very cool little formation that they do there. With you got it's the Sabre, right, and the Tudor and the F-18. I mean, that just kind of shows you the projection.
Yeah, right.
They're moving forward in their Air Force.
Right,
hey, yeah, go ahead there, Crank. Are we ready?
We are almost very ready. We are actually just on engine start, and we're going to be moving shortly. But what we do have to do, we have a little bit of admin to fix. Unfortunately, due to some unforeseen technical issues, our chat's not working. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to take a quick little pause while I continue to start this F-18 up, and we're going to bump the stream so we can get the chat back, so all the lovely viewers can chat and mingle with each other while they watch this air show. That I can guarantee you, folks, it is coming. Airplanes are starting. We're moving on. We're very sorry to hear about the Frecce, but we're going to do a quick bump of that stream just so we can get the chat back going, and then we'll bring you guys back in. And Stumpy will be joining you very shortly, and Stumpy is the narrator for the F-18. So that's what's going on right now. The F-18 has just started up. I'm just doing an alignment, INS alignment, and we're going to be ready to go.
All right, thanks. You heard it here, folks. Get ready as we take a short admin break. More to follow here at the Virtual Demonstration Team Exchange right after this.